Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday evening. So here we go with another one of these. And we are back, sort of, to normal painting. I mean, normal for me, but given the circumstances, nothing has been normal at the end of this week. I'm sure you would agree. I'm going to take a minute here to set up comments. So if you're watching this on a recording, go ahead and take a few minutes, get yourself your favorite beverage or queue up what you want to paint. I'm titling this Painting Guild Ball Limited Edition Rage. Did that actually work? And then, oh, there we go. And then I'm going to change the hashtags here to hashtag Guild Ball, hashtag Steam Forged Games. Okay, so we're good there. Let's go ahead. Looks like everything is saved. Let's go watch this dude. Um, chat has not really been working on my view thing. So chat is going to show up briefly in my window here, but it won't show up in the chat, which kind of sucks. But as a backup, I'm going to open up my own phone here and open up the chat on my phone. My channel, let's go to my channel. And let's watch this. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in my chat here. Yo. I'm gonna put that in and it will show up on, you'll see it, yeah, you'll see it there on the chat side, but you will not see it on the other side. So you see it's not in my my other view browser window, but there it is. Okay, so tonight we're gonna paint limited edition Rage for Guild Ball, and I've only done one thing. I've only done one thing to him, so don't worry. All I did was put a little bit of Guilliman Flesh, which is a contrast paint. Put a little Guilliman Flesh there, and this works as sort of an undercoat and a base coat at the same time, but I kind of use it as an undercoat mainly, and you'll see if I need to highlight or anything like that, we just do regular painting from here. So this is what we're going to paint tonight. Um, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, or yes, threats. I do accept threats as a valid form of communication on this channel. But yes, that is what we were doing, and we're just gonna do. We're doing our quarantine. We're gonna call it quarantine paint streams, and we're gonna do a bunch of these. That's the plan. My son has 2 weeks off of school, so he is going to be doing some painting as well. So we'll do some painting with him. We'll do some painting with me. Again, if you guys have any sort of questions, comments, or threats, now is the time to do it. It's the end of the world as we know it. Go ahead and just say what's on your mind. Say what you need to say to me, what you've been longing, dying to say to me, whether or not, you know, you're glad I may die, or you've always loved me. Those are really the only two options you have at this point. So, you should say one or the other, and I will be accepting of both comments, both or either. Maybe you feel both. Maybe that would mean you're my wife. uh, anyways, speaking of my wife, happy birthday. Yes, this weekend is my wife's birthday. Just popping in to say, hey, got to put my kid to bed, see if you're still. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for popping in, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon. Good luck. I know the struggle putting kids to bed, so do what you got to do, man. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you in a bit. All right, so first thing I'm going to do here is we're going to paint the eyeballs in. So take a little black gray, and doing this sucks to do on camera. Just so you know, not a big fan of it, especially since he's sort of winking. So his eyes are kind of tough to begin with. One eye in the sculpt is definitely bigger than the other one. But he's got a lot of character in his face, which I love. All right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's paint the whites in for his eyes. Yeah, I like that. You know, there is no middle ground with me. You either love me or you hate me, right? That's got to be what it is. You know, where do you land personally? I show you. What's up, Nelson? Oh, dude, I gotta tell you something, man. So I was getting your stuff out of that MDF thing, and your homeboy here, this troll, he was like stuck in the thing, in the thing. It didn't. I was able to get him out, but I had to wiggle the MDF a little bit to get him out because he was like behind. He was like behind an extra layer of the MDF. So. But I did get him out, and I don't believe I broke anything, so that's good news. Um, but you know, if I did, I can repair it. It's MDF, pretty easy to fix that kind of stuff. I didn't like snap anything, is what I'm saying. Um, but it did seem like he was kind of stuck in there. Oh man, how did your Legion game go? Did you end up crushing the rebels there? Frying pan honey. All right, so now we're gonna go in with the white. Again, I hate doing this on camera. Hate painting the eyes on camera. Always difficult. But hey, you guys came for a show. That is what you are getting. So I know Rage generally has he generally has brown hair, but I may do like a carrot top Rage. I may do orange. Cause Rage is an angry man, and I always tend to think like, you know, if you were a true ginger, you'd probably be kind of angry. That comment was directed to my friend Dicey Guy, who is a true ginger. Um, and it's just funny to me. He's born a troll, of course he's being a dick. I missed the rest of that comment. Comments kind of flying by there. Because my stupid browser is no longer showing that correctly. Okay, so we're going to do that. And he actually has a little bit of teeth there, but I don't want to. You have to leave early to help my parent. Okay, well, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. I managed to get in a couple games of Guild Ball. It was actually, we managed to get in kind of 1.5 games. The second game, Jose's dice were so bad that he just kind of called it. I feel bad because that was a lot. Like I'm usually the one rolling the shitty dice, but Jose is just he's got really bad luck. Like I shouldn't be. Anyway, yeah, that was a rough one, but nonetheless, you know, still good to get in a couple games of Guild Ball, and I got to play my engineer. Got to play my engineers, a team that I've been kind of back on the fence about. Right? Engineers are still, you know, despite me having had them for over a year now, still a little bit of a hard sell for me. just because they don't fit neatly into the Guild Ball gestalt. And right now, I feel like while the Engineers have so many good players, I feel like their roster is starting to lock up with regards to who you should take and who you should not take. And if I'm being honest, it's a little bit of a turnoff for the team. That said, I mean, Engineers are still very fun to play, but I feel like there's certain players like Spade, Nomad, and Rivet in particular. Well, I guess I would just say Spade and Rivet are basically auto includes um, for NGs, and I was so happy about how deep their roster was that you know it's kind of a bummer that I am starting to feel like those two are auto includes, and the fact that one of them is a captain. Wait, no, let me back up. Rivet, Spade, and Mainspring are all auto includes. And that kind of bothers me because you still, Rivet, Spade, Mainspring are all auto includes, and then you get some flexibility in the other three squaddies you take, which I guess is okay, but I don't know. Me personally, uh, you be engineer. I want to be. Oh, your daughter decided he wanted her mom back, so oh, cool. Welcome back, David. Um, yeah, it's the so it's a super fun team again, but ugh, I'm starting to feel like they're a little pigeonholed, specifically with their captain pick. It's a little too obvious who you want your captain to be. I feel like, and I'm not asking for Rivet to get nerfed. I feel like she is just so complete that you don't really want to take any of the other players there. Let me make sure his little chops here. Oh, great. I missed an entire ear with flesh, so we'll fix that in a minute. So I'm gonna, because he's got these sideburn chops here, but I also want to get that ear with the skin. Do. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not sure where I'm sitting with the Engineers. Are they now? They're definitely not my number one team. They were my basically my number two team for the last year or so. But I'm starting to look at should my number two team really be a team like say Order? This is just a super fun team, um, good ball team, very fun play style for me, and it's a minor team. I always like the idea of having your second team, your non, you're not your main team, but your sort of everyday side team as being one of the minor teams. I thought it was going to be the minors, but they're just too strong, so we're not doing that. Um, anyway, where's this orange? So we're gonna do like true ginger here. He's gonna have a ginger mustache and ginger lamb chop sideburns, and then we're gonna finish painting him in. Yeah. So he's just an angry ginger man. And then sideburns here, be ginger. And then I'm going to use a little of this orange on the tip of the cigar, just the very tip. You may not even be able to see it on camera. There we go. Just that. Just that very edge there. But look at how much character this guy's face has. Hey man, I just chopped up the snake. It's beautiful. It's a lot of hungry folk that like. That's good eating. You have a good snake there. Speaking of which, if you've tried snake in the chat, let me know. I have not consciously had snake, and I say that because you never know. You know, you may have eaten, a questionable meat at some point in your life, and then then later on somebody explains to you like, oh, you just had snake, or you've had horse, or you've had alligator. I've had alligator before. Had alligator before. Never purposely had snake, so I don't know if I've had snake. What were you gonna ask me today? But yeah, anyone here purposely had snake? Do you have any stories of it tasting just like chicken? That's what I want to know. I'm getting the starter tanks built for your tanks World War II game. Oh, I lost it. My kid and I will have to play a lot of time to paint it now. Yeah, my son has 2 weeks off of school. I'm working a weird, semi-quarantine schedule. So I assume I'll have a little bit more time to do stuff with him. So we have like stuff that we want to paint. Um, I kind of want to play My Little Scythe with him. That's a game that he and I like to play several times now. What were you going to ask me? All right, so I'm going to use some of this Volupus pink here to just kind of line the open entrails of coin. All right, you can see he's slit coin open, right? So you got all this exposed snake meat back here. Okay. Did you change something about your stream? Because often during the last minute or so, when you say goodnight and the last few comments are literally cut off. Oh, I think there is a setting in OBS because I have a delay built into OBS, and I think when I end the stream, a lot of times I discard the delay, and that's probably why. So I apologize for that. I will not discard the delay anymore so that we can see the comments and whatnots. All right. No snake, you're vegetarian. You never know what you can eat. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I've never consciously eaten snake, but some people do, right? Some people, like my dad has eaten. I know my dad has eaten rattlesnake before, and my dad just eats anything that is cooked and has crawled around once. That's really all his. That's his criteria, really. Is it as long as it used to move and it doesn't move anymore, he'll eat it. So he's eaten all kinds of stuff. Um, yeah, I remember being a kid and asking my dad, what he's eaten. Like, have you eaten snake? Yes. Have you eaten horse? Yes. Have you eaten dog? Yes. Damn it, Dad, you're feeding into the stereotype. And I think he has eaten dog. I don't know. That's horrible. I couldn't. If if I ate dog at one point, I feel sorry for that. Like I would I would have to figure out some sort of penance for myself. I just can't. I know, you eat pigs and pigs are smarter than dogs. Um, but one, pigs are delicious. Okay, Yes, they're smart creatures, but they are rather delicious to me. So I'm down with that. Um, but I don't know. Dog just would just make me too sad. Cause we have pet dog. That's the that's my Western influence showing there. All right. So these parts are all going to be gold. He's going to have a coin here with a bunch of blood on it. Um, then you also have the snack. We'll give coin a yellow eye here. I'm not sure why the snack has teeth. That's just kind of weird. Uh, but we'll give him a yellow eye, and then we're gonna. It's basically just color blocking. That's what I'm doing right now. Oh, the dog. Oh, I just. I. You know what? Dog can taste like delicious candy and ice cream all put together, and I would still have issues because I'm a silly emotional human being, not as pragmatic as some. They're just gonna be like, "What? It's delicious." All right. So we're gonna base coat the whole snack here in Skeleton Horde. That's gonna give the underbelly scales a nice base color. And then it's also going to kind of warm up whatever it is we decide to do with the tops of the scales. My coin is kind of a golden brown color, so I might have coin kind of match that. And either way, it's a good idea to kind of start with this. My union colors are like a dark blue and a gold. I don't have that much opportunity to do gold on this mini, but I guess I could do the belt there gold. So I could do the belt gold, which is really more of like for me, it's a little bit more of a mustard color. So I'm actually going to use a slightly different gold there. And then I don't know, on the bandana, if you have an idea of what I should put on the bandana, that might be cool. I'm a big fan of just putting like a W Wu-Tang or something on there because because I'm not creative. The pants are probably going to be that dark blue, and then this will be that gold. Maybe his bandana could be black with a little W Wu Tang. Even though my alchemists are the Wu Tang, um, I could do that. Uh, Frankly, if he's gonna match, it should probably be. Well, I could do the. Hmm. Let's figure that out in a minute. For now, I'm gonna undercoat the white of his shirt, and I'm gonna undercoat it a Gryph-Charger gray. So it's gonna be a cool white as opposed to. Oh, wait! Before I do that, it's going to be a cool white as opposed to a warm white. So, like if I'm doing warm white, the undercoat would be the Skeletal Horde, or even occasionally it's the Plague Bearer flesh. Okay. So, if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight we're painting up limited edition Rage. Paint strong box on the bandana. That's a great idea, but I don't have the patience nor the freehand skill to do that. I do like that idea though. That's super cool. Kind of shows everyone where Rage's loyalty is at concerning mascots. Yeah, it's kind of messed up that you can take coin on a Vet Rage team. Oh man, I've got a crevice in there with too much open space. Well, hold on. First we finish what we're doing. All right. So this Griffcharger Gray is actually pretty nice undercoat for doing cold whites. So if you're doing white clothing, it's a really nice undercoat for that kind of stuff. Looks like that is that a piece of flash? What is that? Yeah, it looks like that's a piece of flash. Uh-oh. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that and then I'll repair that. Yep. Okay. I need like a pair of tweezers or something just to get at that. Actually, let's just, maybe my clippers can get it. Yeah, looks like my clippers can just get that. All right, and then let's do, I'm gonna do a little bit of white on the steel part to kind of act as just a spot prime. All right, I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll hit it. I'll come back and hit that with the Guilliman flesh. Okay. Sometimes you just miss flash, that kind of stuff. It's not that big a deal. Okay. While we're at it, let's go ahead and paint the vest. Should the vest, yeah, the vest should be black. Let's do the vest black. And when I say black, I actually mean black gray. But yeah. So yeah, I had a couple of, managed to get in a couple of games of Guild Ball today. That was cool. With Jose, who's a newish player, still learning his guild. He's learning Hunters, and I repeated something to him that Nathan explained. I think he explained it very well regarding control teams. You know, the strength of a control team is knowing your opponent's team. It's more important on a control team than it is on basically playing any other type of team, because the whole idea of the control team is, you know, if you don't understand what your opponent is trying to do, then you're not going to be very good at stopping him from doing it, right? And so learning the game with a control team is can be extremely difficult for that reason, because you're still trying to learn your own team, and you know you're playing all these people, and you'll have all these other people throwing different new teams at you that you don't know what they do, you don't understand what they're capable of. So it could be a very difficult thing to learn the game with the control team. And you know, with other teams, especially the more straightforward playing guilds, um, you know, the best thing for you to do is you can't, while you can't learn every other guild outright, and that's absolutely going to help you, but that's almost a stage later, right? If you're playing a guild like Butchers, what you do is, you know, at first you're trying to learn what are the Butchers game plan. How do you, you know, right? How do you put together a win with Butchers? And then you start playing all these other teams, and all these other teams start presenting different strategies that are either undermining your own strategy or maybe are more effective or efficient strategy for winning games. Um, so more straightforward playstyles are better to learn the game, but not necessarily um, higher on the power curve. In fact, a lot of those, typically the downside to playing a more straightforward guild is that you're probably looking at a low ceiling for skill cap, right? Probably. It's not true all the time, but that's a that's one downside that you'll see in a lot of games. Um, Control guilds tend to have very high skill ceilings, and are they tend to be favored by highly competitive or highly knowledgeable players because that's the strength of the playstyle is really understanding um, all the different things that other guilds can do, and then figuring out, developing your strategies for how to effectively thwart that and piece together your own victory plan. So yeah, learning the game with a control guild like hunters or morticians can be very challenging. So that's one thing I would tell new players is not necessarily to completely turn them off the idea of playing those guilds because you like what you like, right? When you're starting to play a game, it might be that you like the aesthetic or theme enough of a guild that you're willing to accept that. Like, yeah, man, maybe I lose my first 24 games or whatever, uh, learning this guild, but man, they would, that's really an aesthetic or a theme that I really like. For me, when I first started playing Guild Ball, the aesthetics I was instantly drawn to there were two teams, at the same time that I really enjoyed the aesthetic of, and that was the Masons and the Alchemists. So I really liked the aesthetic of both. The Masons had this really cool armor that when I saw the sculpts, I was like, yeah, I want to paint them like kind of like stone sculpt, like stone armor, because I think that will be interesting. So I got really into that, and then the Alchemist really got me because I really liked all three of the sculpts that were in the initial Alchemist starter set. So uh, they had Midas, who's doing that cool like 3 point heroic landing thing, and then you had Calculus, who's just a real. Oh, Calculus is such a great simple sculpt. I really love her kind of steampunky outfit. With the little blouse and the weird skirt and I was calling it like a poison flute that she had, and then also Vitriol was just a cool sculpt, like straight up. Yeah, it's annoying that she's like on her tippy toe and whatnot. From a build standpoint, it's a very annoying model, but very cool. It's just a very cool aesthetic um, when she came out. So, anyways, I was initially drawn to them, and then between the two, the Masons were the easier guild to learn how to play the game with and to learn the game. Right, Masons are one of the best teams to learn the game with because everything with the Masons is built very solid. You learn really good, just kind of fundamental play, um, and they have they do have some obvious weaknesses. Is typically character plays, where or what hurts the Masons most of all. But they're also still quite competitive. So I will say that about the game in general. Even though you have, we'll say, okay, well this guild really tops out at a higher power level than another guild, like you might hear us say that, that still doesn't mean that we think that, you know, another guild isn't competitive because of that, right? We can say, oh yeah, butchers. A lot of people will say that butchers are very straightforward, very easy to learn, and at least before there was a vet boar, you know, people would say, yeah, you know, there kind of is a ceiling on the butchers because um, they rely so much on linear threat that maybe their skill cap or their skill ceiling isn't as high as a lot of other teams' skill ceiling would be. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. It doesn't make them any less competitive. It's just it's actually kind of an advantage, I think, in a lot of instances because, like I said, if you're that person that's like, you know, I understand fundamentally how to play Guild Ball, and you know, I don't need a mental challenge every day, but I definitely want to be able to play with my friends and give them a good game, and you know, be able to beat them occasionally. Um, then it's a good team for you. So I guess you just kind of bear that in mind when you're talking about like starting the game with a control team. So some of the most difficult guilds to learn the game with, obviously the two main control teams being hunters and morticians. They're going to be very difficult teams to learn the game with. Also rat catchers, because rat catchers have some very strange mechanics, and they have a very they can have kind of a counterintuitive game plan. I've noticed. I've played a few games with rat catchers, and they're super fun. I'm starting to enjoy them more and more. But I do feel like their game plan isn't. It just isn't as intuitive as a lot of other guilds. So therefore, I think that they're a little tougher to learn. All right, moving along here. Let's start getting some dark blue on this dude's pants. And I use a super dark blue. Like I use a dark Prussian blue as the base. Um, Minor guilds can also be difficult to learn the game with in some ways. In other ways, I feel like they can also be very a little more beneficial to learn the game with. You know, notably because you get the +1 roll on the initiative, and you get the extra uh, the extra game plan card. That can be kind of cool. And then also, you know, the fact that you only have one captain and one mascot choice and very limited roster selection can also kind of make minor guilds very appealing to start the game with. Um, I'm not really, I haven't really thought about what minor guilds might be good to start learning the game with. Um, they can all be a little trickier to handle because their playstyles tend to be a little more out there. But like, I don't know. I think you could hand uh, while cooks are a little bit harder than your average guild to learn, they're not they're not harder than hunters to learn the game with. Um, and they're a little harder to learn than butchers, obviously. But I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to handing um, you know, a new player a cook's guild and go, here's how you play the game, and then kind of teaching them the basics of, okay, here's how you're going to set up your turn. Especially because I feel like cooks have they have this great setup mechanic, but they also they also have some flexibility in like who the actual finish is and how you play the end of a turn. It's really kind of neat. Um, I also like that they have, their captain is, in my opinion, almost more of a coach because at least the way I've been playing them, like I haven't Wellington doesn't need much influence wise. Like I've been giving him very little influence. Like, oh, okay, throw out a swing, maybe get a singled out, and then pay for a chef special, and do your scathing rebuke, and that's it. And that's real. Like you don't really need to do that much else with Wellington because if you have, if you have one of the girls, one of the Spice Girls set up for the end of turn or a late activation for like really crazy high damage or something like that, you're in pretty good shape. So I feel like, while they're not the best guild to learn the game with, that they wouldn't be absolutely awful to learn the game with. You could hand the cooks to somebody. Honestly, I don't think they're any harder to learn the game with than say farmers. But that's just me, and if you disagree with me, you can shoot me a comment. I don't think they're that difficult. Um, you look at navigators. That's going to be a little bit harder, in my opinion. But if you're playing a strong ball game and that's what you really like is your playstyle, um, you know, you could play that. Alternately, fish are easier, so why not start fish? But again, you could start navigators and just learn playing the 6 navigators that are in that box. Not bad. All right. Let's highlight the shirt. Now, I don't want his shirt to be pure white, so I'm going to use a very, very close white. This is sky gray, which is just actually if you're ever painting with contrast paints and you want a good undercoat, this is an ideal undercoat. Sky gray, because it's very similar to Wraithbone, not Wraithbone, Grey Seer. But I'm going to use it as white here on Rage's shirt. And I may use it for something else too. I mean, he could be honorary Wu-Tang. He could be honorary Wu-Tang, you never know. Also, I farmers are pretty good for learning the game after all the errata that they did. I agree. The reason why though I would say that farmers and cooks are kind of the same on the learning scale is because they both require a little bit of setup and spacing, and you gotta watch your synergy, and you are playing for a late activation something amazing typically with both of those guilds. So I guess my point there was like it's not that much of a stretch to hand a new player cooks as it would, in that it can be kind of similar to like learning farmers, right? Learning thresher farmers is not, especially with thresher though, it's because like, oh, okay, yeah, thresher, he murders things a lot. That's what you need to know immediately. Yeah, thresher, good. Give him all the influence. Make sure he's got a good support system in place. Um, and then you've got your other players are picked for utility support, and then to kind of bolster your game plan. Right? You might add a second beater if you really are going for the beatdown game. You might add like um, a jackstraw or a bushel if you're going for a more of a goal scoring game. Although you would add I feel like you add jackstraw pretty much anytime because you get planter mechanics and you get a goal scorer out of it. So So he's always nice to have. Okay, let's go snick about the leather. Your content channel hit 100 subs. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Good stuff. That's always cool. Okay. So this neck here, gonna have darker top scale. Poor dead Snick. I do love Coin as a mascot. I think he's a fantastic mascot. Can't believe he's dead already. Rip him and Mainspring are the only mascots who have died in the fluff, as far as I know. Oh, no, that's not true. Scum died, and that was a very, very public, very awful death. So rip Scum. Did any other mascots die? Mainspring, Coin, Scum. If you guys know of any other, let me know. I definitely cannot think of any other. All right, let's get some. Let's start. Wait, actually, let's do a little bit of shading on the gold first. Then we'll move on to the blood. So I need to go back to. Guilliman Flesh. It's that useful. Shoot, I'm running low. Oh man, I might have to go to the store and buy Guilliman Flesh. Tell everyone it's toilet paper and watch people fight over it. Too soon? Am I not allowed to do toilet paper jokes? Dude, toilet paper jokes. Anybody else fighting for toilet paper out there? Let me know, man. I'll hook you up with some toilet paper. Of course, I'm gonna have to price gouge it. But we got lots of toilet paper here at the house. I'll do a little shade here on the belt. All right. Okay. This is sad time. Everything I missed it. I'll read it when it shows up on my phone here. Sorry, dude. Let's see. So we're gonna do some Blood Angels Red. Everything I learned about Guild Ball, you learned from this last half hour. I'm gonna have to fight my way to some plastic cement. Yeah, I did. I today I bought. I picked up the commission from Nelson, which I'll be working on later this week. But also I picked up some stuff for me to paint. You know, if our city goes into lockdown, I gotta have something to paint. Okay, it's a little too bright. It's a little too bright. So I'll calm down this blood. It's not. I mean, I guess there should be some dried aspects to that blood. But I'm gonna kind of litter it there on the entrails. There you go. And then when I do the sword too, I'll do a little blood there too. This is sad. This is that's Blackheart's top knot right there. I'm gonna put a little bit of blood here on the top. So sad. And then there's also all the gashes here. Right. He hacked up that. He hacked up this poor Sneck pretty good. There's a big old gash right there. I mean, some of this could be injuries that Coin took as part of that final game he played in. But definitely some of this is obviously from Mr. Rage here, ripping him open like that. All right. Let's do a little freehand. Just buy hazmat suit and have your friends over for hazmat guild ball. Okay, I'm being honest with you. I spent this weekend doing a little bit of cleaning here in my hobby room. I need to do more cleaning in my hobby room, but it is a thought. It is a thought that, because you can come into this place directly to the hobby room, so if you don't want to get exposed to my kids or vice versa, we could do that. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm very tempted to do something like that. I'd have to discuss it with my wife. The other thing is, failing that, we could do the old board games on Discord thing. That was always pretty fun. So we could do stuff like that and live stream the board games. Okay, this is going to be a little bit harder than I thought it would be, and that actually looks pretty terrible. Yeah, that is not looking at all what I want that to look like. So let's see if we can make it work nonetheless. Getting there. So either I like this and we go with it, or we just abandon the whole thing. See if I can make it work. Keep pushing. Let's make it work. Okay. It's not bad. You should invite a friend for an LGS, but oh, I see. Yeah, like a lot of people that like have their gaming areas set up in their garage, I could totally see that happening. I have this room down here, which is pretty cool. It's just this like private little downstairs area. You know, we might have issues with my kids wanting to run in here. And then also, if you're allergic to cats like Nelson is, that can be hard because I have a cat that likes to come down here and socialize with people. That is not working the way I want it to. I don't know. I'll try to clean it up a little bit more. It's funny, it looks almost like a WWE symbol right now, which is not terrible. It's actually kind of funny. It actually looks kind of funny as a WWE symbol. All right. We're just painting this one for fun though. This is I'm gonna knocking this guy out before we get into the Lord of the Rings commission. you know, he's just a model I had lying around that I told myself I would eventually paint because he's a very fun sculpt. He's kind of a good subject for a paint stream. Okay, that's not terrible. We're gonna keep working on this. Let's do Blackheart's top knot. But yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to get a couple people down here and maybe stream a live game, like I used to do in the old days. We just live stream my game here, set up the webcam. I've got the gaming table set up directly behind this paint station. So I literally just turn around. We have two monitors to watch the thing live. It can be a lot of fun. We've done this before from here, so that's fun. And then, like I said, failing that, you know, obviously we have the option to do like board gaming online, that kind of thing. So, you know, hey, if we're all stuck at home, there's stuff we can do, people. There's plenty. This channel is built for such an emergency. So little cleavers. I'm a little jealous of my wife. You know, my wife and my kid, they both got 2 weeks off. I don't have any time off, but my work is like telling us to work remotely where we can, that kind of thing. So, you know, that's something I was always kind of doing anyway. So not much changes for me. Like those of you who know, like I'll have a spot open up in the middle of the day and be like, oh, who's ready for a game at such and such a time? It was a pretty normal thing for me to have, and it's nice to be able to do that. Uh, so yeah. Mostly though, I would have to say I'm gonna have to be wary of my kid getting too bored too quickly, because he is 6 and he will get bored very quickly here in the house. And you know, mom is great for all kinds of stuff, but mom is not quite the play pal that dad is, if that makes sense to you guys. I'm sure it does, right? Little boys like that, he wants to game with his dad. He wants to play stuff that dad is playing, that kind of stuff. Minecraft is what we play. We also play we play a lot of board games. We play Zombicide, we play Super Dungeon Explorer, we play Rail Raiders, we also play um, My Little Scythe, we play Stuffed Fables, we even play Dragon Tides. The thing I've learned gaming with my 6-year-old son. Oh, we play a lot of Relic Blade too, which is his favorite. Um, I think I've learned playing with my 6-year-old son is that games that adults hate are great games for little kids, right? Rail Raiders is fairly bad as a game. Let's just be honest. It's not a great game. But Rail Raiders with a 6-year-old is is good times. He's feeling that Rail Raiders. Same with Super Dungeon Explorer. I think is and Zombicide are fun games for anybody. So anybody would enjoy those games. Stuffed Fables is just like flat out just a good game. It's a really good game, especially for. I mean, it's a game. It's a game designed for kids, obviously. So it's a great game for that. All right, we'll get the. I'm gonna get the basic color blocking down. So it's going to be like grass back there. And we're going to get a couple of different colors down for the brick. But there's it. So even when what I'm learning is that even when I have a bad game, I can make use of it as a good game with my son. That'll last for a couple years, and then eventually his tastes will mature, and he'll also hate those games. So there's that. What am I missing here? I need that. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of different colors of brick on this brick inlay. So this is kind of like so we're going to do like a terracotta color for standard brick, and then I'll do a lighter, like almost like a sandstone color. So I like these colors for brick. They're nice, and I'll leave some of this stuff gray, I guess. But I kind of like having the, a bit of the pattern in there. And this is the time when I put this model together, I was really into hybrid bases. So you'd see a lot of, half stamped, half textured bases. And then I want like a sand color. That's not a bad sand color. Okay. I know this freaks people out, but believe it or not, yes, you can actually use flesh colors for not flesh. I know, shocking, right? It's still paint at the end of the day. So I'm going to use this fair highlight here. My 6-year-old daughter freaks out a lot in competitive games, so we play Ghost Fight and Treasure Hunters and Operation Last Train. Thanks. Oh, well, she's 7. I would recommend Stuffed Fables. It's a fantastic game. It literally is, you read a storybook with your kid, and then the start of each chapter you read a story, and the story's about this little girl who's actually starting to get a little older, and so it's kind of like Toy Story. She's getting a little older, and the toys are tasked with protecting her from just some not good stuff, like this evil guy or whatever. It's really cool. I'm not describing this well at all. I fully understand that. I did not do a good job explaining Stuffed Fables, but yeah, highly recommend. Very good game. Okay. Should I? No, I think I'm pretty happy with those colors. They look too bright right now. We're going to dull them down. You'll see here in a minute. What else do we need to happen? Well, we need to highlight some of the gold on the tip of the sword. I mean, the hilt of the sword. Let's do that. All right. Let's bring a little of that gold back. All right. Okay. And then we'll do white. But he's starting to come together. You can see. Let's go Wu-Tang on his his do-rag, right? I know it's called a skull cap. I'm calling it a do-rag for now. It's for my millennial audience, folks. It's so that they know what I'm talking about. If I say skull cap to them, only RPGers and pirate cosplayers will know what we're talking about. So I have to say do-rag okay? So that they know. Oh, do-rag, yeah. LE Rage be sporting a do-rag. You'll check. Yeah, and the other thing, David, is the sculpts for stuffed fables are phenomenal. They are so underrated. They're excellent. Um, I painted them and was completely blown away by the quality. They're very cool. Some of them can be creepy. Hopefully, I mean, it's designed for kids. It's a little creepy though, I will say. It's a little on the creepy side, so be a little forewarned, but I mean, that's kind of the nature of the story. But yeah, sculpts are excellent on that game. And I have a number of people that were offering me money to buy my set. They didn't want me to paint a set for them because it's like, oh, my kid isn't going to wait that long. Let me just buy yours. And I was going to sell my set, but my son, like every night, he kept asking me, let's play more Stuffed Fables, Dad. And I'm like, all right, I can't sell my set while we're playing lots and lots of it. So it just never made sense to part with it. But I'm glad I didn't because, like I said, the sculpts are fantastic. My son loves the game. Um, and he keeps asking, like, when are we going to play Stuffed Fables again? That whole thing. So a little highlighting on the edges of the blades here. Right, just a little edge highlight, nothing too big. There we go. Just to draw your eye to different parts of the model like that. Okay, are there any other parts I'm missing here? Like major parts before we move on? I feel like I need to draw more attention to the dead eye here. So I'm gonna do that, and then it's probably okay to just leave that like that. All right, now we got to do a little more gore, right, on this guy. Oh, before I do that, let's do, let me get some green grass. That's too green. That's also too green. Looking for a fairly boring green. That's not a bad green. Let's do that. All right. Oh, I do need another color on the brick. Otherwise it doesn't look. Yeah, the brick needs one more color in it. Let's do one more color. In fact, let's do the brown. The same brown that was being used on the earth. So, oh, I missed that connector. That's weird though. So it should be like, no, that's, yeah, should be like that. So that should be there. This will be here. And this will be here. And this can be here. Okay, let that dry a little bit more. But yeah, let's do a little more blood work. So I'm gonna do some dried blood effects on the blade and certain other parts of this mini. Dried blood tends to be a very thick color. You're not really supposed to thin it that much because dried blood, you're almost kind of dry brushing on the edges and stuff. That's all you're, right? So I'm gonna just put in some dried blood here on the edge of this sword. You typically do dried blood there, and then you highlight it with fresh blood. So you can see that blade there. Oops. Actually picked up a color I wasn't supposed to get from the base. So now I'm blending, kind of blending that color in there. It's not bad. Okay. And then and we'll do a little dried blood here. It's actually going to tone down this a little bit. Okay. It is kind of weird how he has been able to keep his shirt so white after holding the entrails of a snake across his shoulders. How do you keep them so clean, Rage? Like, how do you... So to that end, I'm gonna put a little dried blood here, kind of underneath the body. So it does look like, yeah, he's made a little mess of himself. Right, so right here where the cloth meets the carcass, I'll put a little dried blood right there. So he's not 100% clean. There. Okay. And now let's do the fresh blood. Fresh blood, obviously a lot lighter, but still fairly thick. And you don't need to thin this that much, because this is just going to be highlighted. And you can see it goes on a little more like a glaze. Right, and I'm going to get the edge here with fresh blood. There we go. There. Now it looks like he's done something. He's done something he's going to regret. Because now he's going to go super crazy. Oh, got some on his boot. Hey, why not make it dried blood? Make his boot look... There you go. Little drippings on his boot, man. Give him a break. Alright. So that's good. Now we're going to blend all of that stuff together using... We're going to use like my little custom wash. What I do with it. Oh! I use this like in place of Agrax Earthshade. What it is it's sepia ink mixed with a little armor wash and a little glaze medium. And I'm describing it right now as I am stalling to look for it. Just cannot find it anywhere. I swore I just saw it like 2 seconds ago. It was here on the table 2 seconds ago. It's probably still here. There it is. Okay. Okay. So a little bit of that. Now I'm still waiting for some of this to dry. So, okay. And then we're just going to use this to blend it all together. So you see how distinct the colors are now? Once I do this, you'll see that they're all blending together now. And you do it on the grass too. Right. There now. Now nothing is too far out of whack on the color scheme. It's all That's all going to blend together fairly well. Let's go ahead and let's paint the base now. And he's got to match my other Union team. So I use like a, I think I used like a Warlock purple. I think I used this color. I think I used this heavy violet color. I think. I hope so. Too lazy to grab my other, was it this color? I think it's this color. Yeah, too lazy to grab my other model, so we're gonna do this. I hope it matches. I honestly don't care. I haven't played a Union game in like over a year. So if I'm being completely honest with you, it's not the end of the world if this does not match up entirely. I am very close. I'm very receptive to the idea of selling my Union team because I do not play them. I just don't. I bought Vet Greed for them and then handed it to Nathan. So I'm like, I wanted to paint one, but I'm not that into painting one. I was just like, here, happy birthday, I think, right? And I handed Nathan a Vet Greed. All right. Yeah, I just hope this is the right color. I think this is the right color for the bases I did. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing things. I could put a little more blood here, right? Just kind of mess with that area a little bit. There we go. There we go. So he's not like totally gory. He just has blood in certain spots. You know, kind of also, I don't think anyone will notice this, but let's do it because we've got a little bit of time here. I'm gonna put a little bit of red on his knuckles, like he, after he sliced Blackheart's face into, that he punched his bloody body, as Rage would do, right? It's got a little blood on his knuckles there. All right, we'll let him dry for a minute, and yeah, we'll collect some comments, questions, comments, threats, all welcome. All right, where is this? So probably for the next night or two, I'm going to start batch painting Nelson's Lord of the Rings stuff. So it's not going to be very entertaining to watch me paint that. So you guys let me know. I mean, if you want me to, if you do want me to stream some of that batch painting, I can. Um, if you don't, if you don't have an opinion, obviously don't comment. I'll just my plan is I'll start knocking out the orcs and the goblins and stuff, and I'll just do those in batches. That'll happen pretty quick. Once we start painting the characters, that's when that's probably stream worthy, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, let's have a look. Can I zoom in on this dude? It's too bad. Am I ever gonna play this guy? I don't know. It's the reason why he sat on my desk for so long. I just, I haven't been playing Union, you know? Just, I don't even know if this guy deserves the Wu-Tang on his, his do-rag, to be honest. It does look, especially if I had left it white, that would look like a WWE. That would look like WWE Raw or something like that. Like, it's a great sculpt, though. I do like it quite a bit. Now, this sculpt is um oh, don't apologize, Nelson's all good. It's, part of the commission. No worries. Orcs and stuff paint up fast, so I'm happy that there's some batch painting. Um, yeah, great sculpt. I guess I could play him as a regular Rage, and if I ever got uh, another Vet Greed, I could paint a Vet Greed. I just don't see myself playing that team, frankly. Vet Rage is, uh, Vet Greed it is kind of a cool 2-2 game that you could put together. You could put together a 4-1. I'm sorry, a 1-4 with them. But especially with being able to manipulate Rage around, Rage and Fangtooth run around the field wrecking people is pretty awesome, right? You go Rage, Fangtooth, Grace, and then I don't know who you want as your other player. Could be. I think that fourth squatty is, you have a lot of options there. Like you could go, um, you could go Gutter for just because she's just great all around. Same with Decimate, great all around. But Decimate gives you um, a little bit more mobility. Um, I still like my girl Snakeskin. I know nobody really likes Snakeskin. She's not as good as she was in season 3, in my opinion, but you know, still pretty cool. I don't know. Who else do you like on that team? Hemlock, right? You could play some Hemlock in that team, and that's kind of cool. Anyways, yeah, he's kind of dope. Let's seal him up real quick. Well, Union is just a team for jank. Yeah, I don't know why uh, Union is like straight up feared in the European meta. And I'm like, yeah, they're a strong team. And I, I don't know. Kevin seems to think that that Vet Greed is super strong. And I don't know. I'm missing something. I think it's strong, but I don't I don't think it's quite as strong as he thinks it is. It does give, squatties, specific squatties some really, really why did I make so much of this sealer? I don't need that much. Um, it does give squatties, certain squatties like Rage, Fangtooth, it does give them quite a power boost. But my whole thing is with Vet Greed is that I'm sorry, yeah, is that even with the same number of activations, 5 models on the board just feels like you're going to have a hard time covering the board, in my opinion. I don't know. And that probably merits some more discussion, right? Why is Vet Greed considered so strong? I I just don't see it. All right. Give him a nice seal coat. I know he's looking pretty slick right now. Let that dry. There we go. He can be very. This could be a very fun He's a fun sculpt. If I had the Sulthesian Gutter, then I would be more interested in playing Union. But as it stands right now, I'm just not all that interested in playing them. I just don't think it's, I don't know, not compared to everything else that's out there. I am looking forward to getting some more order back on the table. That's my one thing right now. I got an order team on coming in. That will most likely be quarantine painting, right? Along with this Lord of the Rings thing. That's going to keep me busy for a while. But I did go out and buy some more Batman stuff. So I bought some Batman stuff today because I want to try out 3rd edition Batman, and I just like painting it. So if we do run out of models, obviously, then we got like Katana, we got Huntress. I need a Dinah. I don't have Dinah right now. I need Dinah. She's my favorite. She's my favorite bird of prey. Obviously, we like Batgirl too. But yeah, those are going to be fun to play. My favorite thing is I absolutely hated this model with a passion when it was metal. It was a worst model, one of the worst models ever made. So I'm excited about this one being in resin. If you guys want to see me paint this, there actually already is a video up on this channel painting Batgirl, and I'm painting the metal one, and it's super annoying. So, anyways, I think we're gonna call it here, folks. I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna go to bed, and we'll do some more painting later this week. But yeah, there you go. There's limited edition Rage. Just a super fun sculpt. Look at the character on the eyes. Look at that. He is pretty damn cool. Let's just admit that. Don't worry about the sheen. It'll die down when this thing is dry. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So with that, we are gonna call this edition. I am also excited for 3rd, Nelson. Hopefully, I don't know if Chris is willing to come out and meet. I'll see if he is, because he's all about it right now. He's really enjoying it, and Chris is very fun to game with. And I love painting Batman stuff anyway. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. I will leave the delay on Nelson, so if there are other comments, keep them coming. But have a good night, everybody, and we'll catch you on